To go back to by-election politics, the ANC's Secretary-General Ace Magashule is on a walkabout in Ekurhuleni as voters in the country's 9 provinces have a chance to make their mark in by-elections today. The Secretary-General of the ANC will be headed to the Integrity Commission this weekend for his alleged involvement in corruption during his stint as the Free State Premier. Reporter Govan Whittles is following that story for us, joins us live. Govan, good afternoon to you. Has the Secretary-General referenced what is going to be a big weekend at all?
No, Jeremy, he's about 2 hours late and hasn't arrived here yet. There's a lot of people waiting for him. And despite that, the ANC seems to be gathering a lot of support in this area. They're the ones that are bringing the most people to the by-elections voting stations. But there is a sizable number of people that are waiting for the ANC Secretary-General to come to the Ramaphosa informal settlement in Reicha Park. And obviously that has a lot of irony with it as well, considering the perceived battle at the moment between the Secretary-General and President of the ANC. But we do expect the Secretary-General to touch on all of these topics, including how he thinks the ANC will fare in these by-elections. This is the only ward where the ANC is hoping to defend its territory. The ward councillor here passed away during the lockdown, and because of that we have this by-election, though it's not clear what the ward councillor passed away from. And then in some of the other wards, in Ekurhuleni, in Benoni to be specific, the ANC is trying to stage a coup d'etat in an area such as Reineveld, which is a very affluent area with houses going for up to 20 million rand. The DA councillor defected to the Good Party and then to the ANC, and Jacques Meyering is now standing as the ANC candidate in that area, but it is a DA stronghold and brings in about 90 to 95% support for the DA. And then in Lakefield, another very affluent area in Benoni, the DA councillor resigned after John Moody left the party and is now contesting independently. And again, the DA hoping to retain control of that ward. I spoke to the DA's Gauteng leader, Solim Simanga, a while back about the resignation of these members and the fact that they're now contesting against the DA. And let's have a look at what he had to say about what the DA thinks about this.
We say that the Democratic Alliance have always built leaders, and people vote for the brand. They don't vote necessarily for the individual, and this has been proven time and time again that you vote for a brand that is able to hold people to account. And indeed, when you're standing as an independent, sometimes you don't have enough voice. In council, and we've seen it where people just fade off when in council. But when you have an organization that is able to ensure that even in committees, they have enough members to represent you, whether it be in infrastructure, whether it be in roads and transport, whether it be in housing, you have those people that will be able to represent you. When it's an individual, they'll have to choose which of the committees they want to represent you in, and therefore you will be shortchanged. So we have always said this to the communities as well, to say that if you vote for an organization that has the numbers, they should be able to represent you much more effectively in council. And that's what we're hoping that will happen here today.
And Govan, in this precautionary climate of the pandemic, the Independent Electoral Commission would have been very careful in managing the by-elections today. Have there been any hiccups?
Not as far as we can tell. Remember, the IEC is spending an extraordinary amount of money to ensure that the by-elections happen with COVID protocols in place, but they're also conducting somewhat of a cost exercise to determine how much they would need to conduct the local government elections next year and what kind of challenges they can expect. So the first of them would be the PPE shortage. And we've seen at every voting station the IEC's officials and presiding officers enforcing those COVID protocols fairly strictly with gloves and hand sanitizer. But of course the IEC's decided they don't require a temperature scanner at the entrance of the voting station. They believe the gloves and sanitizer and social distancing would be effective. And then there have been no disruptions today. That's of course a little bit better than what we saw last month in Naledi, with people disrupting the by-election or at least protesting there. And the IEC says that so far it would give its technical staff 100%, saying that they haven't recorded any hiccups across the country. But let's have a look at what Glenn Mashinini, the chairperson of the IEC, had to say to us a bit earlier.
We opened on time. In fact, they were there an hour or more earlier, and I had the feedback from the political parties as well as the officials, and also I've spoken to a few of the voters everybody is saying thumbs up to the Electoral Commission of South Africa and thumbs up to our leadership in the province here in Gauteng. They've done an excellent job so far, and we hope we maintain this record, because this is what is characteristic of when we talk about elections and democracy in our country, is that everybody is free to come and express themselves, and they have their choices registered in an atmosphere that is conducive to free and fair elections. And that really is what our mandate, our constitutional mandate is that we have to ensure we run an operation that is slick and at the same time is compliant with national and international standards of free and fair elections, and we are proud of that track record.
Glenn Mashinini is the chairperson of the Independent Electoral Commission, ending that report by Govan Whittles in Ekurhuleni.